Okay, we're going to look at number 1 on the proficiency review guide. We want to go ahead and read through the problem. It says you are flying a kite and attach one end to a stake in the ground and let out 200 feet of string, which makes an angle of 30 degrees with the ground. Assuming that the string is straight, how high above the ground is the kite to the nearest foot? So if we go ahead and draw this, we're going to have a right triangle. And they told us that they let out 200 feet of string. So imagine you're standing here on the ground. You have your kite in the air. And you let out 200 feet of string. And then it tells you also that it makes an angle of 30 degrees with the ground. So we have a 30 right in this quarter down here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and label this with hypotenuse, opposite, and adjacent. Okay, now we also need to mark where they're trying to have us solve for, and they're having us solve for how high above the ground the kite is. So our x is right here. Once we know where our x is, and once we know where our other piece of information is, on the O and the H, I would go ahead and mark that somewhere. Because when you look at SOHCAHTOA, and I'm going to write that off to the side, that will help you decide what trig function you need to use. Okay, we decided it was OH. We need to go and find OH. That's with the sine function. We always use the sine of your angle, sine of 30, equals opposite, the first, over the hypotenuse. So opposite is x over hypotenuse, which is 200. Once we know that, we can go ahead, put a 1 underneath the sine, so they have two fractions, and we can now cross multiply. 200 sine 30 equals x. Put all of this right here in your calculator, just as is, 200 sine 30, and you'll get x equals 100